Welcome to Miss Scarlett. Subscribe and don't miss out on Patreon. Have fun! Rediscovering her feminine side, the woman cautiously examined her image in the mirror, curious about the metamorphosis. The red lipstick on her lips particularly stood out. Emma appeared by the doorway, lounging casually. "Too firm. You're trying to make war paint." "I'm not being aggressive," she retorted. "How does one use too much pressure when putting on lipstick?" Smiling over her friend's clumsiness, Emma roared at this. "Now you understand why it takes me so long to be camera ready," she declared. "Still think it's just slapping on some color?" 3 days earlier, the conversation had started innocently enough over breakfast. Kellen had checked his watch for the third time in 5 minutes, while Emma finished her makeup routine before their brunch reservation. "Seriously, how complicated can it be? It's been almost an hour," Kellen had complained, drumming his fingers against the kitchen counter. Emma had emerged from the bathroom with perfectly winged eyeliner and a challenging gleam in her eye. "If it's so simple, why don't you try it sometime? Then maybe you'll understand." What had begun as a lighthearted dare had evolved into something unexpected. Now, on day 3 of the challenge, Kellen stood before the mirror applying makeup with Emma's guidance, experiencing a strange sense of rightness that was both exhilarating and confusing. "The blending is actually decent," Emma admitted, stepping closer to examine Kellen's work. "You've got a good eye for color. That coral shade suits your complexion." Kellen's heart fluttered at the compliment. "Really? It doesn't look ridiculous?" "Not at all. Actually," Emma tilted her head, considering. "Try the concealer next. Just a touch under your eyes." Following her instructions, Kellen dabbed the creamy product where directed, blending it carefully with a makeup sponge. The face in the mirror began to soften, features becoming more refined with each product applied. "This is different," Kellen whispered, almost to the reflection rather than to Emma. "Good different or weird different?" Emma asked, her voice losing its teasing tone. "Good different. Really good, actually." The admission came out barely audible, like a secret being revealed even to the speaker. Emma's hand rested gently on Kellen's shoulder. "You know, I've got that turquoise wrap dress that might look amazing with this makeup look." The suggestion hung in the air between them. This was beyond the bounds of their original bet, crossing into territory neither had explicitly discussed. The bathroom suddenly felt too small, too intimate, too revealing. "I'm not sure if," Kellen began, but stopped, because the truth was, the idea didn't feel wrong. It felt like opening a door that had always been there, hiding in plain sight. "Just between us," Emma said softly. "No pressure, but I think you might look beautiful." Beautiful. The word resonated deeper than Kellen expected, striking a chord that had been waiting to be played. "Okay," came the reply. "Let's try it." The turquoise fabric draped elegantly across newly discovered curves, cinching at the waist to create a silhouette that felt startlingly natural. Kellen twirled slowly, watching the dress flow with the movement. "It fits you better than it fits me," Emma said, adjusting the neckline slightly. "How does it feel?" Like I've been wearing the wrong costume my entire life," Kellen whispered, unable to look away from the mirror. "Does that sound crazy?" Emma's reflection appeared behind Kellen's, her arms wrapping around in a supportive embrace. "Not crazy at all. Sometimes we discover parts of ourselves in unexpected places." That evening marked a turning point. What had started as a challenge became an exploration, tentative at first, a few minutes here and there, experimenting with different makeup techniques, borrowing more of Emma's clothes when she wasn't home. Within 2 weeks, Kellen was spending hours watching makeup tutorials online, practicing contouring techniques, and learning how to create the perfect cat eye. The bathroom counter gradually accumulated products, a foundation that matched Kellen's skin tone perfectly, 3 different mascaras, an eyeshadow palette with shades of copper and gold. During a quiet dinner at home, Kellen finally found the courage to bring up what had been evolving between them. "I've been thinking about a name," came the hesitant confession over pasta carbonara. Emma set down her fork. "A name?" "Yes, for when I'm dressed this way, for who I am when I look in the mirror and everything finally makes sense." Emma reached across the table, squeezing Kellen's hand. "What name feels right to you?" "Naomi," came the reply, the syllables already familiar from being repeated silently for days. "I think I'm Naomi." Emma's smile was warm, accepting. "Naomi," she repeated, testing it. "It's beautiful."
"It suits you."
That night, Kellen slept in one of Emma's nightgowns, the name Naomi echoing like a lullaby through dreams more peaceful than any in recent memory. "Hold still," Emma instructed, carefully applying mascara to Naomi's lashes. "If you blink now, we'll have to start over." 3 months had passed since the initial makeup challenge. What began as hours had evolved into days, then weeks, of Naomi emerging more frequently, staying longer each time. Kellen still existed, at work, in public spaces, but at home, Naomi blossomed. "I've been researching," Emma said, capping the mascara. "There's a boutique downtown that specializes in clothes for people exploring their gender expression. Would you like to go shopping? Get some things that are actually yours, not borrowed from me?" Naomi's breath caught. Shopping in public meant stepping outside their apartment as her true self, a terrifying yet thrilling prospect. "What if people stare?" Naomi asked, voicing the fear that had kept her confined to their home. "Then they stare at a gorgeous woman in a beautiful outfit," Emma replied with conviction. "I'll be right beside you the whole time." The boutique was small but welcoming, with soft lighting and spacious changing rooms. The owner, a woman in her 50s with silver-streaked hair and kind eyes, greeted them warmly. "First time shopping for yourself?" she asked Naomi perceptively after Emma explained they were looking for a complete wardrobe. Naomi nodded, grateful for the understanding in the woman's eyes. "Well, you've come to the right place. Let's start with finding your style, shall we?" Hours flew by as Naomi tried on dresses, skirts, blouses, and jeans designed to flatter her body type. With each outfit, her confidence grew, shoulders straightening, smile widening. By afternoon's end, they left with bags full of clothes that were undeniably hers, not borrowed, not temporary, but a wardrobe that reflected the woman she was becoming. "One more stop," Emma announced as they loaded their purchases into the car. "Where to now?" Naomi asked, exhilarated from the shopping experience. "You'll see." The salon was upscale but not pretentious. Emma had called ahead, explaining the situation to ensure they would be paired with a stylist who would make Naomi comfortable. "I thought maybe you'd like your own hair," Emma explained. "A wig is fine, but having something that's truly yours might feel different." Naomi's hand instinctively went to the wig she wore. a shoulder-length brown style they'd ordered online. "My hair isn't long enough." "Extensions," Emma suggested. "And maybe a color that feels right for Naomi, not what Kellen has had all these years." The stylist introduced herself, radiating warmth and professionalism. "I understand we're creating a whole new look today. Any ideas about what you'd like?" Naomi hesitated, then found her voice. "Auburn," she said with sudden certainty. "I've always loved auburn hair." 3 hours later, Naomi emerged from the salon with cascading auburn waves that caught the light with hints of copper and gold. The extensions blended seamlessly with her natural hair, which had been expertly colored to the rich auburn shade she had requested. Standing on the sidewalk, Naomi caught her reflection in the salon window, the turquoise dress from their first exploration, now paired with hair that was undeniably hers, makeup she had applied herself that morning, and a posture that spoke of newfound confidence. "You look stunning," Emma said, squeezing her hand. For the first time, Naomi truly believed it. The spare bedroom's transformation happened gradually. First came the vanity, a vintage piece they found at an estate sale, refurbished with fresh paint and new hardware. Then the wardrobe, expanding weekly as Naomi discovered her personal style, flowing maxi dresses in bold patterns, wrap styles that flattered her figure, statement pieces that reflected her emerging personality. Emma added touches that made the space more than just functional. Fairy lights strung around the mirror, framed vintage fashion prints on the walls, plush rugs underfoot. The room evolved into Naomi's sanctuary, a physical manifestation of her internal journey. "What do you think?" Emma asked one evening, showing Naomi a jewelry tree she'd brought home. "For all those statement pieces you've been collecting." Naomi ran her fingers over the delicate branches. "It's perfect, though I should probably learn to walk in heels before I accessorize too much more." Emma's eyes lit up. "That's something I can definitely help with." The walking lessons began that night, Emma demonstrating the proper posture and weight distribution. Heel to toe, smaller steps than you're used to. It's about balance and confidence. Naomi wobbled in the 3-inch pumps, gripping Emma's hands for support. "I feel like a baby giraffe." "Everyone does at first," Emma assured her. "It takes practice." Practice became part of their daily routine. Naomi would come home from work as Kellen, change into her true self, and spend the evening learning to navigate the world in a new way, not just in heels, but in all aspects of feminine expression. Emma taught her about handbags, accessories, the unspoken language of feminine presentation. One night, after a particularly successful walking session where Naomi had mastered a runway-worthy strut in 4-inch heels, they collapsed onto the couch, laughing and breathless. "Thank you," Naomi said, suddenly serious. "For everything. For seeing me before I could even see myself." Emma brushed a strand of auburn hair from Naomi's face. "You were always there. You just needed the space to emerge." "I've been thinking," Naomi began, nervousness creeping into her voice. "About work, about everything. About being Naomi full-time." Emma's expression remained open, encouraging. "What are you thinking?" "I'm terrified. But I'm more terrified of going back to pretending, of locking Naomi away again." She gestured around the room, at the life they'd been building. "This feels like home. The other life feels like a performance I can't keep up much longer." "Then don't," Emma said simply. "Be who you are. I'll be with you every step." "You make it sound so easy." "Not easy," necessary. Emma took Naomi's hands in hers. What's the alternative? Living half a life? Compartmentalizing forever? You deserve to be whole, Naomi. The words hung between them, heavy with truth and possibility. I don't even know where to begin, Naomi admitted. One step at a time, Emma replied. We'll figure it out together. The HR director's office felt smaller than Naomi remembered from her orientation as Kellen 3 years earlier. Emma waited in the lobby, having taken the morning off to provide moral support. So, you wanted to discuss a personal matter? Ms. Richards prompted, her expression professionally neutral. Yes. Naomi took a deep breath. I'm in the process of transitioning, and I wanted to discuss how to handle this professionally in the workplace. To her credit, Ms. Richards didn't appear surprised. She nodded thoughtfully. First, thank you for trusting me with this. We value you as an employee, and we want to support you through this process. The knot in Naomi's chest loosened slightly. I appreciate that. We've had employees transition before, though each situation is unique, Ms. Richards continued. Would you like to tell me what name you'll be using and your preferred pronouns so I can update our records? Naomi, she replied, saying her name aloud in this professional setting for the first time. And she, her pronouns. Ms. Richards made a note. Naomi, beautiful name. Now let's talk logistics. We'll need to update your email, security badge, and other credentials. Would you prefer to make an announcement to your team, or would you like me to handle that? The conversation continued for nearly an hour, covering everything from bathroom access to legal name changes. By the time Naomi left the office, she had a clear plan and, surprisingly, a sense of calm. Emma stood as she entered the lobby. How did it go? Better than I expected, Naomi replied, still processing. They're going to help with everything. Ms. Richards even mentioned that they cover transition-related care in our insurance plan. Emma hugged her tightly. I'm so proud of you. As they walked through the parking lot, Naomi realized she was taking her first steps into a fully integrated life, one where she could be herself in all spaces, at all times. What's next? Emma asked as they reached the car. Naomi smiled, feeling the weight of another decision solidifying. I think it's time to talk to my parents. The auburn hair caught the morning light streaming through the bedroom window. Naomi examined her reflection in the vanity mirror, applying a light coat of the coral lipstick that had started everything nearly a year ago. Nervous? Emma asked, zipping up her navy blue dress. Terrified, Naomi admitted, but ready. Today marked 2 important milestones. Her parents were visiting for the first time since her transition, and later they would attend a friend's wedding, Naomi's first major social event, presenting fully as herself. The doorbell rang precisely at noon. Naomi took a deep breath, smoothed the front of her emerald green maxi dress, and went to answer it. Her mother's expression shifted through surprise, uncertainty, and then softened into something like recognition. Her father stood slightly behind, his reaction more guarded but not hostile. Naomi? Her mother said hesitantly, testing the name they'd only heard over the phone until now. Hi, Mom. Dad. Thank you for coming. Naomi stepped aside to let them enter, feeling simultaneously vulnerable and powerful in her truth. The initial awkwardness gradually dissolved over lunch. Emma kept the conversation flowing whenever it threatened to stall, skillfully redirecting when things became tense. By dessert, Naomi's mother was asking questions, tentative but genuine, about her journey. You seem Happier, her mother observed, studying her face. There's a light in your eyes I haven't seen before. I am happier, Naomi confirmed. I'm finally living as myself. Her father, who had been mostly quiet, cleared his throat. This isn't easy for us to understand, he said carefully. But I can see you've thought this through, and Emma clearly supports you. It wasn't unconditional acceptance, but it was acknowledgement, a starting point from which they could build. After her parents left, promising to call more often and suggesting another visit soon, Naomi collapsed onto the couch, emotionally drained but relieved. You did it, Emma said, curling up beside her. The hardest part is over. Naomi checked the time. Not quite. We still have the wedding in 3 hours. But that's the fun part, Emma insisted, pulling Naomi to her feet. Come on, let's get you ready to dazzle everyone. The wedding venue was elegant, a converted industrial space with exposed brick walls, crystal chandeliers, and tables adorned with centerpieces of wildflowers. Naomi and Emma arrived as the other guests were being seated, slipping into the ceremony room just before the music began. Naomi felt eyes on her, curious glances, double takes from people who had known Kellen but were meeting Naomi for the first time. Emma squeezed her hand reassuringly as they found their seats. The ceremony was beautiful, the reception lively, with each conversation, each explanation, each introduction as Naomi, my girlfriend. The anxiety lessened. People asked questions, some more tactfully than others, but the overwhelming response was acceptance, sometimes awkward, occasionally clumsy, but genuine. Near the end of the evening, Emma pulled Naomi onto the dance floor as the band played a slow ballad. They swayed together, Naomi's auburn hair brushing against Emma's cheek. Look around, Emma whispered. No one cares. They're just seeing a beautiful woman in an emerald dress dancing with her girlfriend. Naomi glanced around and realized Emma was right. The stares had stopped. She had become just another guest, enjoying the celebration. I never thought I'd get here, Naomi admitted. Living fully as myself, accepted by family, friends, it seemed impossible a year ago. And now? Now I'm wondering what else is possible. What comes next? Emma smiled, twirling Naomi under her arm. Everything, Naomi. Everything comes next. The coral lipstick tube was nearly empty now, saved more as a memento than for practical use. Naomi placed it in a special section of her makeup organizer, a reminder of beginnings, of discoveries, of transformation. Her dressing room had evolved over the past 2 years, reflecting her growing confidence and refined style. The collection of maxi dresses hung in organized sections by color and season. Statement jewelry adorned the vintage jewelry tree. Photos lined the vanity mirror. Naomi and Emma at the beach. Naomi with her parents at Christmas. Naomi receiving a promotion at work. Ready for dinner? Emma called from the hallway. Almost, Naomi replied, putting the finishing touches on her makeup, a skill she had mastered through countless hours of practice. As she applied her favorite auburn-toned blush, she reflected on the journey that had begun with a simple challenge. From borrowed dresses to her own carefully curated wardrobe, from wobbling in heels to confidently striding through life, from hesitant explorations to living authentically, each step had led her here, to this moment of completion and beginning. Emma appeared in the doorway, resplendent in a midnight blue cocktail dress. You look gorgeous, she said, admiring Naomi's deep burgundy wrap dress. But we're going to be late if you keep perfecting what's already perfect, Naomi smiled, remembering their first conversation about how long it took to apply makeup. "Some things are worth taking time for," she replied, standing to join Emma. As they left their apartment, Naomi caught her reflection in the hallway mirror, auburn hair falling in soft waves around her shoulders, makeup enhancing rather than masking her features, posture confident and natural. The woman looking back at her wasn't a disguise or a temporary exploration, but her truest self, finally visible, finally free. The dinner reservation was at their favorite restaurant, where the staff greeted them by name and led them to a quiet corner table with a view of the city lights. They ordered their usual wine, toasting to the ordinary extraordinariness of the evening. 2 years, Emma mused, swirling her wine. 2 years since you wore that coral lipstick for the first time. Best challenge I ever accepted, Naomi replied with a smile. Though I still maintain you set me up. Emma's laugh brightened the already warm atmosphere. I saw something in you that maybe you hadn't recognized yet. Call it intuition. Or excellent matchmaking. Introducing me to myself. Their appetizers arrived, momentarily pausing the conversation. As they ate, Naomi noticed Emma seemed slightly distracted, her responses a beat slower than usual. Everything okay? Naomi asked, reaching across the table to touch Emma's hand. Perfect, Emma assured her, though her smile held a nervous edge. Just thinking about how far we've come, how much has changed. All good changes, Naomi affirmed. The best, Emma agreed, her expression softening. Which is why... She paused, taking a deep breath. Which is why I was hoping we might consider another change. Before Naomi could ask what she meant, Emma reached into her evening bag and withdrew a small velvet box. The restaurant seemed to fade around them as Emma opened it to reveal a delicate platinum ring set with small diamonds surrounding a center sapphire.
Naomi,
Emma began, her voice steady despite the emotion shining in her eyes. You once trusted me to help you discover your true self. You allowed me to witness your transformation, your courage, your authenticity. I fell in love with Kellen, but I found my soulmate in Naomi. Would you do me the extraordinary honor of becoming my wife? The world narrowed to this single moment. The gleaming ring, Emma's hopeful expression, the culmination of a journey neither had anticipated when they'd first joked about makeup application times. Yes, Naomi whispered, then louder. Yes, absolutely yes. Emma slipped the ring onto Naomi's finger, where it caught the light, much like the auburn highlights in her hair. Around them, other diners who had witnessed the proposal applauded, but Naomi barely registered their presence. I have something for you, too, Naomi said, once the moment had settled into a quiet joy between them. Not a ring, that will come, but something I've been working on. From her own bag, she retrieved an envelope and handed it to Emma. Inside was a legal document, the final paperwork confirming her legal name change, completed just days earlier. It's official now, Naomi explained as Emma read the document. In every way that matters, legally, professionally, personally, I am Naomi, fully and completely. Emma looked up, eyes glistening. Perfect timing. I thought so too. A new chapter deserves a proper beginning. Their entrees arrived, the server offering congratulations as he arranged their plates. They ate amid plans and dreams, wedding ideas, future travels, the life they would continue building together. Do you ever miss him? Emma asked softly as they shared dessert, the question she had never directly posed before. Kellen, I mean. Naomi considered the question seriously, giving it the reflection it deserved. I don't miss being him, she finally answered. Because he was never fully real, just a partial version of myself I presented to the world. Everything that mattered about Kellen is still here, just authentic now. Whole. Emma nodded, understanding. I see that. Sometimes I catch glimpses, your laugh, certain expressions, the way you focus when you're working on something important. The essence remained, while the artifice fell away. Exactly. Naomi took Emma's hand, the new ring cool against their intertwined fingers. Thank you for seeing through the facade, even when I couldn't. They left the restaurant hand in hand, the city night enveloping them in its gentle darkness. The stars overhead seemed particularly bright, as if celebrating with them. Home? Emma suggested as they reached their car. Naomi smiled, the word resonating on multiple levels. Yes, home. Their apartment welcomed them, the space where Naomi had first emerged, where she had learned to walk in heels, where their relationship had deepened through extraordinary circumstances. The spare bedroom turned dressing room, the bathroom counter with its carefully arranged makeup, the closet with its colorful array of dresses, all testament to a journey of becoming. As they prepared for bed, moving through their familiar nighttime routine, Naomi paused before the mirror, taking in her reflection one more time. The auburn hair now woven into her identity, the features that had always been there beneath the surface, waiting to be recognized. What are you thinking? Emma asked, coming up behind her and wrapping her arms around Naomi's waist. That I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be, Naomi replied, leaning back into Emma's embrace. In exactly the right life, with exactly the right person. Outside their window, the city continued its nighttime symphony. Cars passing, distant conversations, the occasional siren, but within their home, a profound peace had settled. The journey hadn't ended. In many ways, it was just beginning. But the foundation was secure, built on truth, acceptance, and love that had withstood the ultimate test of transformation. Naomi turned away from the mirror, no longer needing its confirmation. The reflection she had once sought externally now resided within her. The certainty of selfhood, the comfort of authenticity, the joy of living without pretense or division. As they fell asleep that night, Naomi's auburn hair spread across the pillow, the engagement ring catching moonlight on her finger. The future stretched before them, unknown but promising, challenging but beautiful, just like the journey that had brought them here.
Thanks for watching, my girlies! Be sure to check out Patreon for more!